Hello and welcome back everyone to this week's webinar brought to you by the California Caribbean Chamber of Commerce. Our topic this week is Beyond Google. In our previous webinar, we showed you how important it was to be listed on the search engines online. And this week we'll be covering other search engines. As we spoke in the past, we knew that Google was the #1 search engine, followed by Bing and Yahoo. Of course, that's not completely true because we do have YouTube, which is in the #2 spot. But for today's webinar and all our intents and purposes, we'll use Bing as the #2. So today, we'll try to give you an overview and get through this as quickly as possible so that you can get back and start listing your company if it hasn't already been listed. As you know, having your local customers is gold in any business. If you're a local business, it's very important, or as a matter of fact, any business is very important to be listed in the search engines. So today, we'll be looking at the other search engines other than Google. So what we'll be covering is why Google is king. Don't underestimate Yahoo and Bing. And you realize that Yahoo and Bing make up about 30% of the market. It doesn't seem a lot, but it's quite a bit when you're trying to figure out where you should have your company listed in order for your customers and clients to be found. So we've got Bing, we've got Yahoo local, and of course you need to have citations. We'll go into what citations are. But here, if you look at Bing, it's very similar to the listings you'll find in Google, but they do some things differently. So for example, if I wanted to find a plumber in the Los Angeles area and I use Bing as my search engine and I typed in plumber Los Angeles, this is the typical response you will get from the search engine. Here you will see Los Angeles plumber, and here we have Roto-Rooter. And for most cases, you'll find that the ones that are at the top, they're ads. And over here, it's actually showing you that it's an ad. And followed by the paid ads, you typically find the local listing for the plumbers in Los Angeles. So if you were a plumber and you wanted to be found in the search engines, you will try to get your listing here in the organic search where these bubbles are. And to do that, you have to be listed in Bing places. In addition to that, they typically would have, depends on how competitive your niche is or your industry, you'll also find ads on this area here. So since Bing is the second largest search engine today, you'd want to be listed not only in Google, but in Bing as well. So there's a lot of people that estimate that Bing will take over Google in 2013, which didn't quite happen, but perhaps it'll happen down the road. But nevertheless, you want to be there wherever people are looking to find local businesses. You want to be able to be found there. So Bing, like Google, is a business portal, and it requires that you have a Windows Live ID account. You don't necessarily have to use their Hotmail account to do this, but you have to verify it. You can use a Google account, or what we recommend is that you use your business address. So everyone should have a website. If you don't, at least claim your web address and use that address as an email, even if it's just a forward, because it looks, a little bit more professional, and it's not something that people expect from spam because they can find your company. So one of the first things you would do is that you would log in. if you've never done it before, they'll ask you to verify who you are, and typically they send you a business card or a postcard in the mail, and in some cases you might be able to do it by telephone, and that's typically with Google, but in Bing you may have to verify that by a postcard. So what you do is you search for your business name. If it's not there, you add it. If it's there, they might ask you to claim it, and then you go through. In the previous webinars, one of the things we suggested that you do is that you list all your information in Notepad. So that information will be the typical information that you have to use over and over. So the repetitive information, such as your company name, the address, the phone number, your email, your keywords, the things you do, your products, your services. And so because we did Google first, I would expect that you still have a list of all the things that you have there. And for the most part, whether it's Bing or any other search engine, they typically ask for the same information over and over, some a little differently, some in addition to the others. But once you have a notepad, what that does is it allows you to copy and paste the information, especially the repetitive information, over and over, so that claiming these listings will be a lot faster than if you just started from ground zero. So the photos, the videos, and everything that you used in the past, you can reuse them. It is very important that when you're doing this, that you are very consistent across the board with regards to how you list your company. Because if it's listed one way in Bing and it's listed the other way in Google, chances are that you're not going to be found, and you don't have the same congruency, the same consistency. Your business is not congruent across all the platforms that you're there. So it's important when you start out, you have the end in mind, that you have Google right, all your search engines, so it's your social media, and you list that across the board. So for example, if you were going to add your business, you could do something like go to Bing or go on your search engine of choice, go to Bing Places. So you search for Bing Places, and when you get there, you add your business. So in this particular case, I chose Coley's Caribbean American Cuisine. I looked for that here in Google, well, I'm sorry, in Bing, and here it's found. So you could either select it and edit it, or if it was a new business, you can just add that business. And in this particular case, since I'm not doing Mr. Coley's, here is typically how you would set up your account. You'd create all your credentials if you're using a Gmail, and of course I suggest that you don't, but you could use a Gmail account, or you can use your business account. You know, you create the account just like you do with anything else, your email, password, and you follow it, and of course there'll be a captcha there to make sure that you're a live person and not a spam or some kind of a robot. After that, you'll be asked for a confirmation, and then you sign in. And once you've signed in, then you use that time to start optimizing your Bing listing. So my suggestion is, if they're asking you for something, you should complete it. And there's a reason for that. The more complete you are, is the more likely that you are able to claim that #1 spot against your competitors. There's a number of other things that go into place, but if they ask for 10 photos, please provide 10 photos or come back later on and add it to them. Use your keywords and location in your tagline. So for example, if you're a restaurant in North Hollywood, you use that. Be comprehensive in your description. Use your keywords and your locations and make sure that it's things that your potential clients will be looking to find you on. Add the hours of operation of your business, including the days that you're not there. So Monday through Friday, the days you're off, the days you're on a break, if you have it, if you work overtime, be as complete as possible. Any brands, any professional organizations, or any industry terms that you use regarding to your business, you should already also list that. Now, there's a few differences between Google and Bing, and it's important that you use your social media to add links on your listing. So if you have a Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, you would want to make sure that you add that to the bottom. The more categories you have is the more likely that you'll be found. And so you use the ones that they have, because for the most part in Bing, they don't allow you to add new categories. So you try to find the ones that are there that matches very closely to your business. So as you go through and you list it, you also have the opportunity of adding QR codes. I think we'll go through that at some point. Some of you may know what QR codes are. It's it's kind of like a barcode. It's a way in which you can scan it and have it go to your website or a contact information. We can go over that in a future webinar. You can add the specific products to your listing, all the things that you do, and when I say products, it could be services as well. So the only thing is, in Bing at the moment, there's no place for reviews. You'll find Yahoo has them, and Google is being pretty big on that. So the things that Bing likes is the fact that if you have been in business for a while and you have a website, is that if they have older sites, like if you've been there 3, 4, 5, it shows that you've been in business for a while, they're very happy about that. If you're new to business, there's nothing you can do with that. You just put your website, and over time, that'll be better. So the thing is, your content is also important. They don't judge the content by its age, but it's good to have content because, of course, they're making recommendations to their clients, which are people that are looking for your business. They sort of like the domains, and that's the name of your URL or your business, with a keyword in the name. So, for example, if you're a restaurant like Coley's and you have Coley's Restaurant, they like that because it refers, rather than Coley's, that could mean anything. In addition to that, they like backlinks. They're not really particular of a backlink, and a backlink is something, for example, if you're on Facebook and there's a link back to your website, that's considered a backlink. And Facebook is a pretty good one because, of course, it's considered an authoritative site, one that has reputation. And so it's important to have backlinks. Then, of course, we have Yahoo, which is the third engine. They're a lot simpler and a lot easier than Google and Bing. And the key thing, once you've done your Google listing, a lot of times these companies will pull the information from Google or Bing, which makes it a lot easier. So the completeness of your listing is very important. So in this particular case, for your Yahoo local, you would sign up with Google or using your Google account or your Facebook account, and they would pull the information. You have 3 options, I think. It may change at any time, depends on when you're listening to this recording. But of course, there's the basic listing, which is free. It only gives you the opportunity to have 1 photo. You can add reviews to it, and these reviews will appear in Google. Or you can have an enhanced listing. I think it's about $9.95 a month to do that. I suggest you start with a basic listing, but if you'd like to get more coverage and more enhanced information. You get, I think, 10 photos and additional things that you can list for your business. If you think it's important to you, then you go ahead and do that. So you'll be able to add a tagline, the 10 photos, a detailed description of your business on all the things that you do in Yahoo. So, for example, here's a quick comparison. You have your basic listing, phone, address, store hours, your website information, one photo, products and services, and of course you've got all this here plus this additional stuff that you have for Yahoo. In addition to that, they've got, I think, one other program where they would list you in a number of other websites or directories, I should say, that would enhance the ability for people to find you on internet search. So here's an example of how you would fill it out, your Yahoo local. So here it is, the business name, their phone number, their address, email. In this particular case, just because of the way Yahoo's constructed, you know, you create a Gmail account with your company name, and you use that. And we'll also see another reason for having a Gmail account in addition to the, you know, your professional business name for your company. So this is how a typical information will be gathered for your company, and then you will continue to add that information into Yahoo and the other listings. So we initially talked about citations, and so I'd like to explain to you what a citation is. And so if I can read this from getlisted.org. It basically states that citations are defined as mentions of your business name and address on other web pages. Well, what I'd like to say is the name, address, and also your phone number. So even if there's no link to your website and it's listed there, it's considered a citation. An example of a citation might be on the online Yellow Pages directory where your business is listed but not linked to. It can also be your Chamber of Commerce. So if it's linked to the Caribbean Chamber of Commerce, that's considered a citation. So that's why it's important that your business is listed on the Caribbean Chamber of Commerce website, or any other associations where you might have an affiliation and you can be found. Linking your website information to that is considered a citation. And the more of these that you have across the internet, the more likely you'll be found, and the higher up on the search engine rankings your company will be found. So the NAP, or the name, address, and phone number of your business, is very important. And it's important that you use the same number, address, and name across the board. So if you use, you know, your name and it's incorporated and you have INC period, comma, you want to use that same nomenclature across the board, including the phone number. So it's preferable to use your local phone number, even if you have an 800 number, and use that number across the board, because then Google, Bing, and Yahoo see you as the same company and not a different company per se. So with that consistency across all the sites and on the web, it allows the search engines to identify you and connect your business as one business, and that congruency across there helps you a lot more than if you didn't have it. So some of the places that you might see citations that I mentioned before are places such as Yelp, Merchant Circle, Judy's Book, Super Pages, Angie's List, and of course, based on your industry, there'll be specific companies. You know, if you're in the medical industry, there'll be specific companies that your company could be listed in. And it's important that you list your company in those pages as well so that you can be found. So how would you find sites to be listed in other than the main site? So typically what you can do is you can go to your search engine of choice, and you could put your industry and the city. So if you're a plumber, you could put plumber Los Angeles, and it typically on that first page will come up a number of directories that you can list your business in if you don't already know. So in this particular case, I say Google your city. So if you're in Los Angeles, you put Los Angeles and the directory. So Los Angeles local business restaurant directory, or local business construction, or tax or agencies, or dentists, or anything of that nature. If you have the resources and would like to pay for it, you can go to whitespark.ca, and this is a paid service that will tell you, based on your keywords, all of the directories that you could list your company in. So, for example, as I was mentioning before, if you went and you put Los Angeles plumber, you'll see here Yelp came up, Yellow Pages, and eLocal plumbers. So you can choose one of these as, or all of them, and just go list your company in addition to the ones you already have. So the key thing to set up your steps is you must create an account. You have to verify that account. You search for your business name. If it's there, you claim it. If it's not there, you create it and you fill out your business profile. If it's there and you claim it, a lot of the information may not be correct because they may have pulled that information from other sources across the internet or wherever they got it from. And at that point, you can go ahead and set it up based on what we discussed before. Make sure that it's complete. Use the exact name, address, and phone number as you did in your Google setup. Add the photos that are necessary, and then you've got a listing. If you have any questions, please direct them to the chamber, or you can go to calcaribchamber@gmail.com. This is an overview. If the interest is really there to sit down and to fill out exactly one listing so that you know what to do, in one of the future webinars, we can sit down and go over in detail how to set up one or more of these accounts so that everyone can have it listed. Again, thank you again for watching and taking pride in your affiliation with the Chamber. We hope that you enjoyed the third in our series of webinars, and we look forward to hearing from you soon. Thank you.